Deep. Hebron out to the 20-yard line.
Right tackle was nicked in the first half, couldn't go in the second. Reggie McElroy came on, and they couldn't handle Mike Sinclair of the Seattle Seahawks. McCaffrey opens at one wide receiver, Anthony Miller at the other. Terrell Davis, Aaron Craver in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 20. Elway with good protection across the middle to Shannon Sharp. And they pick up a quick 6. And let's check the backs and receivers to confirm those who are in the starting lineup. Miller and McCaffrey at the wideouts. McCaffrey is hampered by an injury as well. Davis and Craver in the backfield, and Shannon Sharp, who just caught that ball. This offensive line started every game with the exception of one missed start by Tom Nalen a year ago. And they have developed into a pretty decent offensive line. 2nd down and 4. Terrell Davis, fresh from a 111-yard outing last week, gets his first carry. It'll be 3rd down and 1. This is a Tampa defense that held Detroit to 206 yards last week. Culpepper and Jackson, along with Eric Curry and the #1 draft pick, Reagan Upshaw. The linebackers, Martz, Hardy Nickerson, and Derek Brooks. And in the secondary, it's Mayhew and Dimry at the corners. John Lynch back as a starter because Todd Scott is out for the season. And Mel Johnson completes that group. Dwayne Carswell comes in as an extra tight end on 3rd and 1. Play action. And there was pressure applied by Eric Curry. He was right in Elway's face.
Yeah, Eric Curry picks up right where he left off last week against Detroit, which may have been his best game as a Buck. Former #1 draft pick, now in his 4th year. He had a terrific game a year ago. They tried to fool him. He's on the far left, number 75, a naked bootleg, and he's saying, don't bring that my way, Mr. Elway.
Tom Ruin is on to punt. The Broncos gave up an 88-yard punt return last week to Joey Galloway of the Seahawks. Nilo Sylvan, the rookie, is back to try and duplicate that feat. Nice high punt by Ruin. Sylvan at the 15.
Shouldn't have fair caught that ball.
Well, last week he made a mistake and ran it out from 6 yards in the end zone on a kickoff return. So, mental mistake.
Yeah, and that's what Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, is saying. And there's plenty of room there, tremendous separation between him catching the ball and the on-rushing coverage team. And anytime you have this much room, I mean, I don't know whether he was confused because it was a long and deep punt. I think he punted much farther than he thought he was going to. But look how much room is there, right there, to be able to catch it and do something with it.
Trent Dilfer is the starting quarterback. He's had a miserable 1996 and a less than average 1995. Here's Dilfer. Dropped. That's one reason it's been miserable. That's Jackie Harris, the tight end. Trent Dilfer now in his 3rd season, #1 draft pick out of Fresno State. He was the 6th player chosen in the draft in '94.
And Vern, you know, no matter how good the Bucs defense is or ultimately becomes, this team will never really compete consistently unless he plays well consistently and throws the ball more accurately.
Backs are split on 2nd and 10. Reggie Brooks opens as a starter. First start of the season. This one incomplete across the middle to Mike Allstott, the rookie. Let's check the backs and receivers for Tampa Bay. It's Reggie Brooks, just acquired on waivers from Washington, who gets the start tonight, along with the rookie Allstott. Alvin Harper, Courtney Hawkins, and Harris. Up front, this is a kind of, they've lost their best offensive lineman, Paul Gruber. He's out with an injury. Will be out for about 3 weeks. Jason Odom, a rookie, takes his spot. 3rd and 10. Just a 4-man rush. Dilfer shakes free, fires it downfield, and it's intercepted by Tyrone Braxton. Nope, he was out of bounds.
Boy. And just the kind of start you don't want when you're battling your confidence. Not only was it 3 and out, it was nearly picked off. I mean, his first pass he threw out of the range of Jackie Harris. There's 1 foot, and no, a good call by the official. He was clearly out of bounds. But the Broncos feel that they can get a very good up-the-middle punt return on their first punt return, Vern.
Well, they have Todd Kinchin back to do that right now, waiting for the punt of Tommy Barnhart. nice and high. Kinchin, acquired from St. Louis for just this kind of task, and excellent downfield coverage.
Well, you see the way Kinchin looks at the coverage? He's unusual in punt returners, and then he'll look at the ball, then look at the coverage, and then look at the ball again. Scares the heck out of their special teams coach, Richard Smith.
There's a
up at the
flag.
ball.
Excuse me, Pat.
There he looks at the coverage twice, getting a feel for it. You don't see many punt returners do that, but he's had great success. First punt return was for a touchdown with the Rams a few years ago.
Well, the kick was in the air. 34 of the receiving team was holding. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down, timeout.
That's Ron Blum, our referee tonight, and Tyrone Braxton, who was guilty of the infraction. 12:54 to go. Open. Elway hands it off to Terrell Davis, who dances and looks for a hole behind the line of scrimmage and gets out near the 34-yard line. The tackle made by the middle linebacker, Hardy Nickerson.
You just mentioned about Terrell Davis. This is a guy that he's a running back that you can depend upon. And watch how he picks his hole. He's number 30. This is supposed to go as a kind of a cutback hole. Good block by Habib, who kind of crushes his man down. Gets a real good block by Shannon Sharp and just finds a way to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. But very patient run.
2nd and 5. Elway, quick flip. Anthony Miller has it. Looks for some blocking help and doesn't get much. And Lonnie Martz, number 51, strong side linebacker with help from John Lynch, collaborating on the tackles.
When you think about the Tampa Bay defense and all the #1 draft picks they have had, including their 2 number 1s on defense this year, Reagan Upshaw and Marcus Jones. And then you add in Eric Curry, who played well on the first series, a high draft pick, Warren Sapp a year ago. There's Hardy Nickerson, who came over from the Pittsburgh. They have the makings of a very good defensive team, but they must get more production out of their offense.
There's the stretch of the chain, and it comes up just short. So
how short? How short would you estimate?
That's a smidgen.
A smidgen.
A smidgen.
That's fair. That's fair.
A smidgen is a little more than a pinch.
Did you ever put a pigeon between your, or a smidgen between your teeth?
Only when I was running around with Walt Garrison.
Yeah, I bet.
Mike Shanahan.
You know, he has done a great job, I think, in creating a very good defensive football team. He's always been known as an offensive coach, and I think he's much more well-rounded now. Greg Robinson's running his defensive scheme, but he's brought in some real good free agents, particularly for Bill Romanowski.
3rd and just a bit. A smidgen. Bounce it to the outside. Here's Davis. Well, he has forgotten the art of the stiff arm. I thought sure he'd shift that ball to his left hand and give it a right arm, but...
You know, Vern, you could hear the block of Aaron Craver, his fullback, number 29, and that allowed Terrell Davis to kind of bounce out. You know, Terrell Davis is not going to make a lot of 40-yard runs, but you're not going to get any losses with him either. Left part of the screen, number 29, clears the way, bounces out on the outside. I mean, a very, very patient and disciplined kind of runner, a tough inside runner. That time he bounces it outside for the first.
And across midfield for the first time tonight. 1st and 10 at the Tampa 49. Elway pumps once, comes right. Sherrard was open downfield, but he settles instead for the short man, and Terrell Davis can't hang on to it. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, I think you have to be careful when you're forcing John Elway out of the pocket. I mean, you have to be real careful. I think you want to put pressure on him, but you don't want to flush him, because I think the most extraordinary thing he does is move from one side and throw the ball across the entire side of the field. Very few guys can do that, and I think it surprises defensive backs every time he does it.
2nd and 10. Shannon Sharp is the motion man. They toss it to Davis. He goes left. Zimmerman with a kick-out block, and Terrell Davis has another first down. There is a fumble, but I believe, well, let's see who got it.
That ball just popped up. Yeah, a lot of guys on that sideline think the Buccaneers have it.
Warren Sapp was giving him a little help, a little coaching on the sidelines.
A little refereeing, you mean?
Fumble recovered by Tampa Bay before they went out of bounds. First down, Tampa. Timeout.
Well, Vern, we said at the very beginning of this broadcast, if Tampa Bay is going to have any chance of winning this ball game, their defense is going to have to create some turnovers. They get the first one of the game right here in the first quarter. A good tackle, but you know who, Hardy Nickerson.
Set now for the Buccaneers. Dilfer hands it off up the middle. Reggie Brooks. As a rookie in '93, he rushed for better than 1,000 yards for the Washington Redskins as a second-round draft pick. They had a coaching change, and he fell in disfavor with Norv Turner. Turnovers have been a problem for Tampa Bay in the first 2 games. This is actually their 4th turnover now of 1996. You see, they had 3 coming in. Last in the NFL, -7.
Yeah, look at the giveaways, and that has been the problem. They've turned it over 10 times, and then when they've taken it away, they haven't scored any points.
Jumpy Gathers comes in defensively for Denver. Brooks bounces this to the outside, gets a little bit of a brush block. It's a first down if the play stands, but there is a flag back at the 35-yard line.
Well, there's a rookie starting at left tackle for Tampa Bay, Jason Odom, and I don't know if that holding was on him, but he made a nice block on that play. And we also talked with Jason yesterday saying, hey, I know it's my first start.
70 offense, 10 yards from the previous spot, repeat second down.
And that is on Jason Odom, and he said, hey, I'm not going to be intimidated, and I want to let Alfred Williams, the gentleman I'm playing against, know that I'm going to play hard the whole game. So he said the start of this game is important to me.
That time he had a guy named Jumpy Gathers who's been around for a while.
I'd hold him too.
Yeah. So that wipes out a 12-yard gain, which other than a quarterback scramble is the longest run from scrimmage so far this year. Leroy Thompson and Jerry Ellis come in. Screen pass, right side. Ellison has it. But he's not going to get much. Michael Dean Perry up the top, and Ray Crockett down low.
You're right. Michael Dean Perry hustled like you couldn't believe it. And there he is, number 95. I mean, first he's chasing Trent Dilfer on the screen pass, and now he's huffing and puffing. But he went all the way across the field, and a hustle play almost caused a turnover. Watch 95 in the middle of your screen. He sees it's a screen, he reads it, and he's right after Ellison, and he gets a piece of the tackle. I mean, when your defensive linemen are hustling like that, good things are going to happen. That's one of the reasons this defense has played so well this year.
Well, this plays right into Denver's hand now because Tampa Bay looking at a 3rd and 15. They're inept on 3rd down conversions at any rate.
Yeah, last time they were 3rd and 10, now 3rd and 15.
Allstott and Leroy Thompson are the running backs. 3-man rush. Dilfer with time. Incomplete. Leroy Thompson drops it. That's 2 drops already in the first quarter.
Yeah, but I think he's making the guys adjust to the ball a little too much, Vern. I think the first thing that you have to be in the NFL, Mike Holmgren was talking to us this summer about it, is really being a fine thrower. What we meant by that is a really accurate thrower. And Trent Dilfer has struggled with his accuracy, only 42% completion rate this year.
Tommy Barnhart will punt for the second time. Todd Kinchin back to return it. Kinchin waits.
Looks.
It's a fascinating art, isn't it?
Yeah.
Standing by the side of him while he was warming up an hour before the game.
Yeah.
That ball comes down, it's terrifying. And there was nobody rushing him at the time. Opening quarter, no score thus far. Tampa and Denver. Terrell Davis, at the beginning of the day, trailed only Barry Sanders in total yards from scrimmage with 243.
You know, he really had a good rookie year, Vern, and I think he stepped it up a notch. Even a higher level he's playing at this year.
6th round draft choice a year ago when he had 1,117 yards. Backs are split. Elway finds McCaffrey, who turns it inside and moves it out to the 34-yard line. Ed McCaffrey mixed last week. He'll alternate with Mike Sherrard tonight.
One thing about a Mike Shanahan offense as you watch Ed McCaffrey, he is going to use everybody on the field. We've seen Shannon Sharp catch a ball. Anthony Miller has been thrown to use Terrell Davis. And, you know, when Shannon Sharp ran on the flat, got a lot of attention there, and that opened Ed McCaffrey behind him.
John Elway, 3 of 5 for 19 yards. He needs 15 yards now to go over 45,000 in his career in total offense. Aaron Craver on 2nd and short. And the 6-year man from Fresno State might have to have the play called back because of a flag.
Legal hands to the face, 75 offense, 10 yards, repeat second down.
Brian Habib.
You know, you mentioned the offensive line staying together, and only 6 NFL teams had the same offensive line start this year as they did a year ago. I think 4 of those 6 teams started the season 2-0, and it shows you what you need. You need continuity in your offensive line, I think, to be a good offensive team, particularly early in the year.
2nd and 11 after that penalty on Habib. Anthony Miller starts in motion. Elway back up in the pocket. Shovels the pass to Anthony Miller. My goodness.
I think it was left-handed.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about his extraordinary skills. Do they count those as part of the 45,000 total yards?
I don't know whether to call him amphibious or ambidextrous. What's your choice?
Well, again, just when you think you have him, and, you know, again, he's so strong, too. I mean, he's a big, strong guy. You get his right arm because you think he's not going to be able to get it off. You know, Sapp's doing the right thing. He's got a strong left arm, too.
Passes completed by left-handed quarterbacks. Esiason would like to have that arm tonight. 3rd and 4.
Direct snap.
Right to the hands of Terrell Davis. And it didn't work. Scratch that one.
Well, tell you, right now, Tampa Bay hanging in there. Again, with not a real good offensive show. And we said special teams are going to have a chance. And special teams are going to have to win their battle for the Buccaneers to win this ball game. So plays like this is very important for the Buccaneers.
Tom Ruin. Nilo Sylvan, who fair caught the last one, will not do so this time. Out to the 32 or 33-yard line. Fumble. That's Harold up.
Oh, my.
Keith Burns comes out there with him.
Special teams has to be a plus for the Buccaneers tonight.
Well, they are going to unravel, and Ron Bloom will let us know what's going on.
Contact, first down Tampa, timeout.
Ruled down by contact. There's the initial hit by Glenn Cadrez.
No, that was a fumble. That was a fumble.
Bring back replay.
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy, how's the leg? Leg's just fine. Doesn't look too good.
No pain at all?
The way you banged it up the other day?
No problem. Doctor gave me Tylenol. Extra strength.
Tylenol? For that kind of pain?
Just watch me.
Okay, I'll sit on the pickets for a little bit.
Good at that.
Let the pickets tickle. Here's a completed pass. Right side to Mike Allstott. Another fumble.
Man.
Well, they can't blame the atmosphere and the altitude.
You know, that was one of the, really the first accurate throw that Trent Drillfield.
Out of bounds. By rule, the ball was placed at the spot of the fumble.
Right.
Second down.
Can't advance a fumble there. Ford was. But the Trent Dilfer was the first time he's thrown an accurate pass. I mean, he's struggled here a little bit with his accuracy, but that's what he got. He got one right to his fullback, Allstott. And when your quarterback is struggling, I think fullbacks in the flat and the old tight end, you want to see a lot of those guys.
Well, somebody's called for a measurement now, so Ron Bloom will pick up the right.
Or grip it and rip it. Leave it happen. But not be so tentative.
2 for 6 for 12 yards tonight. He came in with a quarterback rating of 17.6. Hands it off. Reggie Brooks. Bill Romanowski among those who greet Reggie Brooks at the 42-yard line. Brooks, as we said, a 1,000-yard runner out of Notre Dame, a second-round draft pick. Had that one good season for the Redskins. He was saddled with a reputation as a man who couldn't hang on to the ball. And last year, his final year with the Redskins, carried twice for -2 yards.
Well, the Redskins didn't think he was a tough enough runner, tough enough inside runner. That's why they let him go.
Alvin Harper, Courtney Hawkins both come to the near side. Horace Copeland is out for the year at wide receiver. Another of the injuries for Tampa Bay. Jackie Harris. I know you think they've got to get the tight end involved.
Yeah, I like that. Mike Shula, the new offensive coordinator, is trying to get the ball to Jackie Harris. When your quarterback is struggling, I think the tight end is such, or can be such a friend, particularly when you have a good one in Jackie Harris. Now, that's only his 7th catch of the year. but he's a big target. He's right in front of you. The ball doesn't have to be in the air a long time. And Jackie Harris, like Shannon Sharp, is very good after the catch. There's Mike Shula, his first job as an offensive coordinator. Second time with Tampa, though.
First down and 10. Dilfer into the flat. Allstott, the rookie fullback. He's a player about whom Tony Dungy says a lot of nice things. Ray Crockett with the tackle.
He's also a guy who has some very unusual training habits. I mean, out of Purdue, their second-round draft pick, and he used to at Purdue. I think he still does it with the Buccaneers. He kind of pushes a Jeep around the parking lot to work his leg strength. Then he carries a bunch of tires behind him with a rope when he's doing sprints for his speed. And
we have rare film of you pushing an automobile through Orange County.
That would be rare.
Yeah.
That would be very rare.
You know, when that gas gauge gets down to E, that's normally a sign you should do something.
That has happened to me a couple times, I'm embarrassed to admit.
Ditto.
I always figured a couple of miles left. I know there's a couple more miles in there.
Yeah, another stretch of the chain.
I tell you, if you are Tony Dungy and Trent Dilfer, you're very happy with the way this first quarter has gone. I mean, they're hanging in there, and you know, they played some pretty good defense. And Trent Dilfer now has completed a couple passes that he's getting that confidence going.
But this is the 28th drive that Dilfer has engineered this season, out of which they've gotten 3 field goals. No touchdowns. Backs in the eye on 1st and 10. Give it to the fullback, Allstott. And the rookie from Purdue picks up maybe 1.
There's number 51 in part of that tackle, John Mobley, their #1 draft pick at a touchdown. This is a guy that, you know, nobody really heard of him or heard much of him, and all of a sudden around the Senior Bowl, his name started to surface of being a #1 draft pick. The Broncos wanted him or Walt Harris, never talked about him, and when that 15th pick came up, they grabbed him.
Second down and 9. He earned his starting spot after the first preseason game when they defeated the 49ers. Blitz is coming. Dilfer picked off, and here we go. Tyrone Braxton, and he will ease his way in for the touchdown. 69 yards, 7th interception thrown by Dilfer this year. Still no touchdowns.
And Vern, he just locked in on the guy. You know, you give a free safety a read like that, you got to look off a little bit before you throw it. But I think he kind of got locked into that receiver. And when a free safety sees that, has that much time to react and step in front of the receiver, you got a chance for an interception, and then you have a chance for a touchdown.
Tyrone Chicken Braxton, 69 yards. Jason Elam with the extra point. It's up and it's good.
Now, just when you think the Bucs are hanging in there, we just talk about it, disaster strikes again. 7th interception of the year, and worse yet, it's for a touchdown. Now, Dilfer's looking left the whole way. Dave Moore, number 83, the tight end. The ball is a little bit behind him, too. If you're going to throw the ball outside, throw it away from the defender. That was an easy pick for Tyrone Braxton. And 69 yards later, the Broncos are up 7-0. Look at his eyes. And he hasn't even thought about looking anywhere else. And you see where Braxton came from? Really a long way away. Ball thrown inside. That's an easy play.
And for Trent Dilfer in the last season and two games, 4 touchdowns now and 25 interceptions. Among the quarterbacks who have not thrown touchdowns this season.
There's a surprise on this list, by the way.
Esiason, Meyer, Steve Walsh, and
Steve Young. That is, by the way, the surprise. In case you were wondering.
I didn't. Yeah, that's the one I would have picked as a shocker.
Trent Dilfer, in spite of all I said, he retains his confidence, and that's what you worry about most of a quarterback. But you get into one, what do you have to be confident about? I mean, you have to make it happen. And as good as their defense is and can be, ultimately your quarterback has to step up and make the plays.
Jason Elam will kick off. Nilo Sylvan waits for it. And Sylvan grabs it at the 3-yard line. counterpunch by the special teams. Randy Hilliard made the tackle.
Well, we said the defense had to create turnovers. The Buck defense has done that. We said, hey, look who's coming on the field to get the team.
Take a look at who's coming on the field.
Yeah, we're going to get a minute to see that. We're going to get to see that in just a moment. But Nilo Sylvan does his part on special teams. With the Bucs special teams who come up with a big play, the defense has caused a turnover, but the cheering was not about that.
Now, there's a wonderful moment here. 20-year-old Gabe Lane. He is the young man with Down syndrome. You may have heard about his story. He is a senior at Greeley Central High School, wants to play football. The state high school authority, here goes the running back, Reggie Brooks. And Atwater knocks him out of bounds. Just to wrap up the Gabe Lane story, the high school authority here in the state said, no, he's too old. He's 20. 19 is the limit. So he's been the object of great affection throughout this state this week. And he's here as a personal guest of Pat Bowlen.
And he was beaming right before the game because his high school team won in a blowout Friday night.
Gabe Lane.
And Reggie Brooks. Special teams set up the offense, and here's where the Buccaneers must score touchdowns. Must. No field goals.
31-yard gain by Brooks, longest of the season. Dilfer into the flat. Romanowski is there to knock it away.
Yeah, Bill Romanowski comes here as a free agent. This guy is one great linebacker, in my estimation, because Bill Romanowski can do a lot of different things. He's number 53. He can stuff the run, and he stays in on pass. He can guard fullbacks one-on-one, and he can knock the ball away without any pass interference. This is one athletic and tough strong side linebacker.
Started his career with the 49ers. Signed here as an unrestricted free agent out of Philadelphia. 2nd and 10. Allstott tests the middle. Alan Aldridge is a part of it, so is Steve Atwater.
And Vern, this is one of these defining moments, I think, for not only Tony Dungy, but for his quarterback, Trent Dilfer. 0-2, the team is struggling. You come down, you get a big play by your special teams and a nice run by Reggie Brooks. You face a critical third down situation. He's asked for a face mask penalty. But here's where their third down receiver in the past has been Courtney Hawkins.
3rd and 7. Hawkins wide to the right. Draw play. Leroy Thompson gets to the 5, and they'll have to settle again for a field goal.
Well, I don't know. I think on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, a draw is not a bad play. It's a long way to get that kind of yardage against a team that's playing awfully good. But you know, anything can happen with special teams tonight with these Tampa Bay Bucks. They know they have to win this game on special teams.
Michael Husted, who has kicked 11 in a row to tie a club record. Watch out for the fake. Tommy Barnhart will snap it. Nope. And Michael Husted knocks it home. So he's now hit his last 12 field goals. That is a new Tampa Bay record, but they have to settle for 3 instead of 7.
You know, once again, though, 3 points rather than 7, Vern. That's been the story of their season.
Well, they've now got 4 field goals in 9 quarters. And let's take a look at the Nicotrol scoreboard. Green Bay rolling again. They do have some weapons, don't they? And how about the Indianapolis comeback over Dallas? Kansas City goes to 3-0.
Kansas City is playing great defense. Denver goes into Kansas City next week. Miami continues to roll. The Redskins win their 2nd. Warren Moon back, had a nice afternoon. Philadelphia, whom we'll see next week. How about New England? Boy,
that will not be the 206th straight sellout in Atlanta, will it? Oh, boy.
We're going to be lonely.
Yeah. This is only the 4th meeting between these two teams. The last one occurred the day after Christmas here in 1993, and these Buccaneers came in then as a 2-touchdown underdog. And they knocked off Denver 17-10. Here's Houston. Vaughn Hebron. Oh, that's knocked way out of the end zone. And a flag is down. This one may come back. You'll have to do it again. They'll kick off from the 25. This one will be returned. Taken short. 20-yard line. Patrick Jeffers, the wide receiver, gets it out to the 24.
And there he goes. He's going back to pick up his own tee. He said just last night, I want to stay in the field as long as I possibly can. And I guess when you're the kicker, the BUCS, you have been kicking off too much this year, and you didn't need any help?
Not a lot of practice. First down 10, 7-3, Denver leads it.
But, you know, the BUCS defense have done their job thus far. The special teams have done their job.
Backs are in tight. Elway play action. Left side. Almost intercepted. Intended for Shannon Sharp. And Charles Dimry, number 39, dived under it. Didn't quite get there.
Well, this one is thrown wide of Shannon Sharp, but he has been a factor already tonight. And I think when you think of reliable middle-of-the-field receivers, you have to think of Shannon Sharp because he creates mismatches. I mean, he's too big for DBs, too fast for linebackers. He is tough over the middle.
Second and 10. Across the middle, Terrell Davis. He's popped pretty good by Hardy Nickerson, number 56.
You know, some guys like Hardy Nickerson improve your defense immediately. You know, Reggie White did it, obviously in Green Bay. Bruce Smith, Bryce Popp do it in Buffalo. And Hardy Nickerson, with hits like that, has made this a better defense since he's come. You know, we asked him, hey, you missed Pittsburgh. Would you wonder if he had stayed? He goes, no, I made the right decision coming here. And he could have had a sandwich named after him or something in Pittsburgh if he stayed.
Third and 1. Davis. That's good for the first down, and that should be the final play of the quarter. How about this ground attack for the Denver Broncos? 200 yards against the Jets, 180 last week in Seattle.
And combine that with defense. Now, mind you, they have beaten a couple of teams that are not tearing up the NFL right now, but their real first test comes next week when they travel to Kansas City.
Back with quarter number 2 in a moment.
Celebrating 50 years of the NBA. The season begins November 1st on TNT and TBS.
New this summer, Jones Intercable and Bandamere Speedway are teaming up to bring you the 1996 Summer Racing Series. Join us for the
third week of the season, and already injuries are beginning to take their toll.
Yeah, look, the definition of playing hurt right there. One of the cheerleaders doing her thing, and tough to get the nylons over that baby.
It's a tough league. Sometimes you got to dance with pain. First and 10. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden. Back split behind John Elway. Mike Sherrard starts in motion, going to the right side. Followed by Charles Dimry. Blitz coming. Elway gets rid of it again. And he finds Aaron Craver out in the flat. Pressure was coming. Lonnie Martz was right on John Elway's back.
You know, John Elway may be 36 years old, but he is still very, very strong. Good rush by Brad Culpepper up front. And once before they had his right arm, he threw it with his left hand. This time he's on the way down, finds a way to get the ball to Aaron Craver. The thing about John Elway, his eyes are always downfield. He's not looking at the rush. When your eyes are downfield, you can make some plays like that.
42 yards. He needs 3 more to go for 45 passing in his career. Here's Davis bursting up the middle for a first down.
Terrell Davis over 40 yards here in this first half, and he has had some very good runs. And anytime that's happened, you get in holes like that, Vern, you're picking your way well, but your offensive line is doing a good job. And there's the coordinator, Gary Kubiak. Actually, his first time he's calling the plays for the Denver Broncos. Second year as a coordinator here, and mixing it up pretty good.
First and 10, Denver leads at 7-3. Terrell Davis drops it. It'll be second down and 10. And Gary Kubiak has that long play sheet, right?
Yeah, and Magna Carta was shorter. But, you know, you look through the thing, all those plays. Now, there are only 2 copies of that. He has one, and Mike Shanahan has one. Nobody else is allowed to touch him. And then they put him in a vault. And there's Shanahan's in his hand. But you see the highlighted ones, those are Elway's favorite plays. They started Wednesday right on through Thursday and then through Saturday saying, hey, what are your favorite plays in those situations? And then they highlight those.
2nd and 10. Into the flat, Terrell Davis. And that's about a 5-yard gain. And John Elway has just become the 3rd player in National Football League history to go for more than 45,000 yards in total offense. He joins Dan Marino and Fran Tarkenton.
Well, that's what is that? Is that 25.6 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Like Manhattan Island's only 13 miles.
So you throw it twice the length of Manhattan.
You throw it 4 times Mount Everest. You throw it. I threw the ozone later.
Right.
At 25, and then you throw it over an Olympic marathon. Yeah, pretty good distance.
Name the last 3 winners of the Olympic marathon.
Well, I wonder if you can tell me how you measure ozone.
Flag is down. And this was not a dead ball foul, so the play might stand.
See, the cadence by John Elway, he does it as well as anybody in the league. And Hardy Nickerson was talking to us last night about him and his cadence. You cannot get a rhythm against Elway.
Offside, 75 defense, penalties decline, 1st down.
Hardy Nickerson was saying, he changes up his counts. You can't get a rhythm against him, and it makes it very difficult to blitz him, to get the timing on the blitz, and then he'll draw you off sides and have a free play. And the other thing he said is he never, on the running plays, he always looks downfield. You never know whether it's a run or a pass.
1st and 10 after the penalty on Curry. That's McCaffrey in motion. Vaughn Hebron comes in to spell Terrell Davis, and he picks up a quick 3 as the Broncos are threatening again, leading 7-3. The touchdown by Denver, a 69-yard interception return, 2nd of his career for Tyrone Braxton, and then a field goal. There's Braxton. Started his career here as a 12th round draft pick.
The defense, causing turnovers, sacks. They have 12 sacks on the year. Stuff in the run.
2nd and 7. Elway, Miller, 1st down at the 15.
Vern, one of the things we just talked about a moment ago, how Mike Shanahan and now Gary Kubiak likes to use everybody on the field, and it makes him so more diverse and so much more difficult, I think, to defend. Shannon Sharp's caught passes. Ed McCaffrey's caught passes. Now it's Alvin Miller on the slant route. And, you try to get him with a chance to run with the ball after the catch, and that's a good call, good execution, and Gary Kubiak has spread it around.
Gain of 13 and a 1st down and 10. Double tight end set. Craver, the motion man. Elway finds Aaron Craver, and he's out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Another flag down on the far side of the field.
There's a penalty. I'm sorry. There's a flag on the play.
This one will come back. Mike Shanahan, Terrell Davis is getting some medical attention on the near side.
Von Hebron.
36 offense, leg whip, 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
Tom Nalen, I believe.
Yeah, got him on the leg whip. But Von Hebron, there's Nalen. He is a good addition to this Denver Bronco team. First of all, it's a marathon. Guys are going to get injured, but Hebron has proven himself in this league. He's a different kind of runner. He's adds a little bit more spark. They're hoping to use him, 4 or 5 times a game as the year wears along.
1st and 25. Back split behind Elway. Screen pass. Hebron gets by Lonnie Martz. Breaks another tackle of John Lynch. And is finally stopped at the 20-yard line. So he got 10 back.
Well read by Lonnie Martz, but Hebron just made a miss.
Hebron cut by Philadelphia, and it was Bill Romanowski who said, hey, this kid can really play, and he urged Mike Shanahan to bring him aboard. And
now what they have is, and this is Mike Shanahan saying, we have a legitimate backup running back in Von Hebron.
2nd down, 16. Dropped by Hebron.
Maybe they have a legitimate second running back, but just not a very good receiver. But I think here's where John Elway's arm strength really is so good. I mean, he can drill the ball and watch the, we talk about accuracy. Boy, got a nice block there by Roger Thompson. Wow. Talk about some of that's luck, some of that's accuracy. But Elway's arm strength, unlike a lot of quarterbacks in the league, can create touchdowns in this area of the field. He and Favre, Marino.
Draw play, Hebron. Yep. That draws forth a cascade of boos from this 206th consecutive sellout crowd.
Different Denver team, not relying on John Elway as much as they used to, Vern. It's really Mike Shanahan is saying, hey, we're playing good defense, we're running the football, and John Elway doesn't have to do it every time.
Jason Elam is perfect thus far this season, 4 of 4, 13 of 14, including preseason. Bothered a little bit by a hip flexor, but nothing wrong with that one. That one is perfect from 40, but there is another flag down. From 45. And why not? Jason Elam, 4th in accuracy among the active place kickers inside 40 yards since he came in the league. He's a dandy.
Looking for your tight end, Jackie Harris. This was one of those naked bootlegs, and this thing was open. Got a nice little hold there by Dave Moore, which always helps. Showed some nice touch, throwing it over one defender and into his tight end, Jackie Harris. I mean, that was a tight throw, and other than the interception, he's throwing some accurate passes.
Gain of 17 and a first down at the 37-yard line. Hand off to Reggie Brooks, Alan Aldridge, and Bill Romanowski. We're back there to stuff that one.
Yeah. It's not all Trent Dilfer. They need better players around him and guys to play better around him. That includes offensive linemen, wide receivers. Everybody's got to start making plays. I mean, it always starts with your quarterback. The rookie, Jason Odom, the left tackle, number 70. Mayberry at center. Riesenberg, number 79.
Later, the New York Giants. Ian Beckles missed last week's game with an injury. He's still hobbled. This is not one of the memorable offensive lines in the league. Second down and 14. Allstott was in motion. So this one will come back, and the option will rest with the Broncos.
40 offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
And we're told it's questionable whether he'll be back.
Remember the shot he took by Hardy Nickerson on that one pass play?
Right. Now, I'm not suggesting this is a migraine headache. He just said last week he missed a day of practice because of migraines. This one, I think, is a result of that shot.
Yeah.
But we don't know whether he'll be back.
And this is the guy the Denver Broncos need if they're going to make a run for the playoffs this year. Because he complements the incredible talents of John Elway very well.
Second and 19. Draw play. Leroy Thompson, number 34. And Alfred Williams, who played collegiately just up the road at Boulder for the CU Buffaloes. And never has really found his stride as a pro.
Yeah, and he went right around Jason Odom, number 70, that time. The rookie left tackle actually beat him quickly inside. In a draw play, you got to take away the inside, push the defensive end out around the play. But the quickness of Alfred Williams inside caused that good play.
Dilfer under center, third and 19. Dilfer across the middle, Jackie Harris. What a play! Tyrone Braxton and Ray Crockett were there, but so was Harris.
That'll do something for your confidence. I mean, Jackie Harris has been their featured receiver thus far in this game. Now, he came in with only 6 receptions, but he's had 3 tonight for 67 yards, including that one right down the middle, matched up on Ray Crockett, a defensive back, but it's the size and the strong hands. He doesn't bobble the ball when he gets those big old paws on the ball.
That's a gain of 36 and a first down at the Denver 35-yard line. Play action for Dilfer. With time, goes deep. Has another man, Alvin Harper, who in his year and a half has been a quiet force, and a flag is down.
Boy, there have been a lot of flags for the third game of the regular season.
15 from the 40. Blitz coming. Dilfer scrambles. Looks for blocking help. Oh, he got some. My goodness.
There goes Alvin Harper.
It was, and now a flag down out of bounds.
Did Alvin Harper... No, excuse me. It's not Alvin Harper. It's Jackie Harris.
Jackie Harris.
81. Now, Jackie Harris just made a terrific block on 2 linebackers.
One of them was Romanowski.
Yeah, and the other was Aldridge, the middle linebacker.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. Number 51 defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And that's on John Mobley, the other linebacker. So all 3 linebackers are in the play. Watch this one. This guy's going to get blocked right here. That's Aldridge, number 57. Right on the right of your screen. Right here. Here's the play. Jackie Harris, clean block. And I don't think that's a penalty.
That's pretty picky.
Yeah.
John Mobley spent his day off this week back in the league headquarters in New York, trying to argue against a fine that was imposed on him, a fine of $10,000 for a late hit on Gino Torretta in the first preseason game.
And Vern, we say it again, can't settle for field goals if you're going to win in this league.
Hand off to Reggie Brooks. He slips the tackle of Braxton. Atwater has him. Treats him. We may have a face mask on Atwater. Yep.
Yeah, they got something going. The Buccaneers have something going on this drive, and it's Reggie Brooks on this run. Yeah, there's a corner of the face mask, and that's a serious face mask.
Number 27 defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's the 15-yard variety, but they'll get half the distance here.
Well, they've marked the ball at the 3, Pat, and yet again, Tampa Bay looking for their first touchdown of the season.
And right now, missing their best offensive lineman in Paul Gruber. Ordinarily, in this circumstance, you'd say, hey, let's run it over the left tackle, Paul Gruber. He's not in. The rookie Jason Modom's in. So you have not necessarily a string in which to run.
Their quarterback, Trent Dilfer, has now thrown 391 passes since his last touchdown pass. Buccaneers have a 1st and goal. The one other opportunity, they fumbled. Brooks, flag down. Brooks is in the end zone for the touchdown, but check the flag.
It was dead ball. I think it was blown before the ball was tight end combination route down here.
And Dave Moore, both tight left. Now Moore in motion, flags up.
The guy was hot right now, Vern, and that's Jackie Harris.
Again, he's tight to the left. Play action. Dilfer hit as he lets it go. Mike Lodish.
This is a new Denver team because of their defense. It started with very good coverage. Dilfer didn't have anywhere to go. There's Williams, number 90. Lodish comes off a block late. I mean, and Perry has done it. Alfred Williams has done it. All 4 of their front 4 guys have made an impact in this first half.
2nd and goal from the 8. Harris tight right this time. They hand it off to Brooks. He gets a block, and he's in for the touchdown. What a nifty piece of running by Reggie Brooks.
Nifty's a good word, and I think he got a good block from Jackie Harris, who's been really involved in this drive.
Reggie Brooks is trying to resuscitate a career in Tampa Bay.
Eric Rhett out in a holdout. They pick up Reggie Brooks to give him a spark, and he's done it. Their first touchdown in their 33rd possession.
79-yard drive in 8 plays, the highlight of which was a 36-yard catch by Jackie Harris. Husted will kick the extra point. It's up and it's good.
Well, Tony Dungy said last night, Reggie Brooks gives us a spark we need. And indeed he did on this run.
And from the 20, Elway operates the Denver offense. Deep down the middle, a sliding drop by Anthony Miller.
Right now with 4:48 left in this half, Tony Dungy has to be pleased with his team. His offense has not only scored the first touchdown of the season, their defense has created a turnover and played pretty well. Their special teams came up with a big play on Nilo Sylvan's return. And so, they're playing much better than they have in their first 2 weeks.
Warren Sapp, number 99, in at right tackle. Elway back into the flat. Charles Dimry with the tackle.
Warren Sapp without his helmet. He's one of those number one picks they have had. They've got a lot of them in the defensive line. Glad his head was not in it at the time.
Marcus Jones, one of the 2 number 1 picks, is in there right now. Number 1 picks from this year.
Reagan Upshaw, the other. Eric Curry was the number 1 draft pick 4 years ago.
And again, Terrell Davis of the Broncos on the bench with headaches. Questionable if he'll return. Third down.
He got him in the cadence again. And Elway waited to the third down situation to change up the cadence.
May have gotten his own man.
Yeah, they have this time.
Prior to the snap, false start. 76 offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
You can tell by the look on his face, he thought he had him. Generally when he draws him off sides, he throws the ball deep. But Broderick Thompson, a little anxious.
You like the look of yellow in the fall?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Leaves are changing and all that sort of thing?
Yep.
We've had 12 penalties already in the first half. 7 against Denver for 58 yards.
And it's been like a preseason game this far in the penalty department.
3rd and 10. Elway comes to his left, chased from behind, and tackled right at the sideline.
They're mad, but I think that's a clean hit on John Elway.
Reagan Upshaw, the number 1 draft pick, the first number 1 draft pick this year. Young man who came out of the University of California after 3 years of play there.
And again, the chase. This is what you always seem to be doing with John Elway. He slowed down. That wasn't a late hit.
Nilo Sylvan on to return the punt of Tom Ruiz. Return is on all the way. Sylvan at the 31. Right, an 8-yard run. Be sure to be with us next Sunday at 7 Eastern. It'll be Coors Light Pro Football tonight. That Brooks tries to spin and is hit behind the line by John Mobley. Well, Tampa Bay's possession charge for the night.
Well, you got a couple of punts. -5 in their first 2 possessions. And they get the field goal. They should have perhaps had a better attempt at a touchdown. And then a good drive led by Jackie Harris. And Reggie Brooks gets him into the end zone. So we got a pretty good ball game.
3rd and 7, 10-10 game.
And now Trent Dilfer has to rise to the occasion too on 3rd down.
Hawkins in motion. Dilfer across the middle, tipped away, incomplete.
Yeah, just a little bit off. We talked about accuracy, Vern. I mean, he just doesn't get the ball on the right side of the receivers, away from the defenders. I mean, you have to be such a fine passer, an accurate passer in the NFL today to be successful. And he's off just a little bit.
Is it a matter of mechanics?
Well, they suggest that. I don't think so. I mean, he's a guy that had a very high percentage in college. I think he's not real confident. And he may not be accurate enough to play long-term in the league.
Tommy Barnhart is on to punt on 4th down and 7. Todd Kinchin waits for it. This is not a particularly good punt. Kinchin, that was not a particularly wise decision. No. And Kinchin is hurt.
Todd Kinchin felt if that ball hit the ground, it was going to take a Buccaneer bounce. That's why he was trying to get underneath it, but it was ill-advised. This is a guy very unique, the way he returns punts. He looked down again. Did you see that? He looked down, I think, and he got clobbered.
Got a knee right in the...
He wasn't able to make up enough ground to make the recovery. Then he gets kicked in the back of the neck.
And he's appears to be okay. First down at the 45. 1:57 to go first half. Elway out of the shotgun. Out of the shotgun this year, he's 8 out of 12. Now making 9 out of 13.
He is a middle of the field mismatch, Shannon Sharp, number 84. And there are very few tight ends that work the middle of the field as well as he does. Very few guys who run the 2-minute drill as well as this guy.
Blitz coming. And they work the middle of the field again for a first down. See if Elway does use one of his timeouts. Yes, he's got 2 remaining now. And he stops the clock with 1:29 to go in the first half of play.
Well, you know, their offense has not scored a touchdown this first half. I mean, it's not been a terribly productive offensive show for the Denver Broncos.
John Elway, kind of surprising, Pat, for all of his brilliant play. He's only been selected to the Pro Bowl 4 times, and he's only adorned the cover of the Broncos 4 times.
Yeah, his 14th year now. And this is this year's, the 1996 one. But, you know, I think of all the things about his career that, to me, that's most remarkable is that he's only missed 9 games. This guy is durable. And you see how strong he is. I mean, he's throwing balls right-handed, left-handed. He had guys hanging all over him.
Signed a 5-year contract in the offseason. Doesn't expect to play all 5, but probably 3. Across the middle. And they move it down to the 35-yard line. 1:19 to go. Word from the bench is that Todd Kinchin is fine. He will be available for punt return duties. Oh, picked off.
Yep.
Intercepted on the right side.
And that's the rookie, Donnie Abraham. And Herman Edwards, the defensive backfield coach, was telling me right before the game that Donnie Abraham is a guy that he thinks is going to develop into a star in this league. Has played very well this year. His first interception of his NFL career. And again, the Tampa Bay defense has played well this game. I mean, that's a good read. He blocks it, and it actually gets sandwiched. The reason he made the catch is that his teammate sandwiched the ball right into his stomach. And that's Herman Edwards, assistant head coach and defensive backfield coach.
Donnie Abram, a third round draft pick out of East Tennessee State.
So that's the first one, dog.
Hardy Nickerson telling Hardy knows where the camera is.
Yeah. That's the first interception for the BUCS this year.
Dilfer. Jackie Harris again.
You know, when you're struggling at a quarterback, you give your tight end a chance. And they've done that.
Buccaneers used one of their timeouts earlier. They have 2 left.
And give Mike Shula some credit going back to Jackie Harris. So they stop him.
19-yard pickup, first down. Dilfer. Chased by Michael Dean Perry. Runs out of bounds in front of Lionel Washington. And stops the clock with 37 seconds to go. Coming up on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report, Vince Cellini will have no-huddle highlights from all of the day's action. And Mark May and Randall Cunningham will have their analysis. That's at the halftime report, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report.
Well, we need about 15 yards in these last 37 seconds to give themselves a legitimate field goal attempt.
2nd and 7. Still 2 timeouts left. Blitz. Dilfer reads it. The ball is caught by Dave Moore at the 43-yard line.
They're working these tight ends.
I thought he trapped it.
Well, we'll see if you make a good field judge in a moment, Vern.
Both judge and jury.
He's in there too. 83 on the left of your screen. Another look at it. And Vern, you're absolutely wrong again.
I thought he caught it. I said that was.
Did you say you trapped it?
I said that. No.
Oh, you're backing up on me. You said you trapped it.
You misunderstood.
I did. Nonetheless, they still need about 13 yards.
I speak the Queen's English.
No, you don't.
3rd and 7. Uh-oh. Blitz again. Oh! Alvin Harper with a stiff arm. And Harper, one man to beat. First down at the 10.
Didn't beat him. You were asking for the old stiff arm a little earlier in this half. Well, Alvin Harper, who makes his first catch of the day, used that old stiff arm on Lionel Washington. But Lionel Washington, at the top of the screen, right up here, number 80, then had a very quiet career at Tampa Bay. Read the blitz, that's the first thing you do. Made the right adjustment, then the strength of all his 6'4", 218-pound frame. And Washington didn't give up and saves the touchdown. But this is a real strong play. His first big play this year for the BUCS. And you know, when he was with the Dallas Cowboys, that was 38 yards. When he was with the Dallas Cowboys, he made a lot of big plays.
Well, his average has gone down. Average yards per catch. Look in Dallas how it went up in each of his seasons there. 16.3 and 91, 92, it stayed about the same. Then 93 and 94, big seasons. And last year, despite 46 catches, only a 14-yard average.
Well, you know, the other receiver, of course, was Michael Irvin. And Michael Irvin got a lot of attention. But he should make big plays. He plays their weak side receiver and gets a lot of one-on-one coverage.
1st and 10 at the 11. 19 seconds before the break. Tipped away. Nice play by Atwater in the end zone.
You know, Steve Atwater is known as such a hammer guy and tackles and a big hitter. You forget sometimes how good a pass defender he is. Harris is number 81. It's a 3-man pattern. He was open for a moment. The ball's a little late, but good recovery by Steve Atwater to knock it away. You know who's playing pretty well now? Is Jason Odom, too, the left tackle for the Buccaneers. He's doing a good job of protecting Trent Dilfer.
Number 70 playing for Paul Gruber. 4th round draft pick, a rookie. Hawkins in motion. Dilfer with time. Incomplete in the end zone. Atwater defending Harris.
Same play.
They wanted a flag and didn't get one.
Round 2. And round 2 goes to Steve Atwater. He wins most rounds. But that's a good matchup so far. Atwater and Jackie Harris. The last 2 plays, Steve Atwater has won. But Jackie Harris has had a big first half. Just out in front of him a little bit again. That fine accuracy that you're talking about, Vern.
3rd and 10. Rush coming. They got him. The clock has 7 seconds to go. Dilfer calls time. They'll try the field goal. First sack of the night by the Broncos, who came in having sacked 9 times against the Jets and 3 last week.
Yeah, and also I think the first guy there was Harold Hasselback, number 96, at the bottom of your screen here. He just does a swim move on the right tackle. I think it was Riesenberg. Gets around him. Dilfer just does the best thing he do is he's kind of keep his hands on it. Alfred Williams from the other side. You know, once again, though, 2 good opportunities to score touchdowns, and now they're going to attempt another field goal, Vern. And good offensive teams. And Trent Dilfer knows it. Scores touchdowns inside the 20. Green Bay has been phenomenal this year inside the 20.
Well, the first interception of the season for Tampa Bay began this drive. And now they're going to have to settle for the try for 3, but this would give them the lead.
Yeah, remember, fumble recovery led to 3 points, and then the interception leads to this field goal attempt.
Jim Pine is the center. Tommy Barnhart will hold it. Michael Husted has hit 12 in a row. And he just does curl it inside the right.
Incredible ability spreads through the league. He's drafted in the 1st round by the Cardinals. Now, after years of hard work, Eric Swan is a Pro Bowl defensive tackle because quitting was never enough. The NFL on TNT, Sunday nights. Don't miss a game.
Broncos have the ball for the first time in the second half, and good news accompanies their possession of the ball. Terrell Davis is back on the field. Bothered by blurred vision. We'll see how it affects his play here in the third quarter. First down and 10. And he gets the handoff. Not much.
He saw that hole pretty well. This is a guy, Mark Schlereth, the offensive left guard for Denver, was talking to us about Terrell Davis this week, and he said, hey, this is a guy that sees the hole, feels where bodies come, and is a disciplined runner. I mean, knows exactly where the blocks are going to come from, where the defensive pressure is going to be. And he said he's always running north and south.
Gain of 15. Aaron Craver with Habib leading the way. And Craver gets loose around the same side. And there is a player down for Tampa back at the 45-yard line. There's another player down for Tampa at the Buccaneer 47.
I see Martin Mayhew, and that's Eric Curry. Man. Eric Curry, who played so well last week and got off to a good start tonight. That is Martin Mayhew, the starting left corner.
This is a team that had 8 players out with injuries at the end of the loss to Detroit last week.
Oh, yeah, that Eric Curry got hit low by Terrell Davis. It was not an illegal chop block, which they're going after this year because he wasn't engaged with another player. Let's go back to that block that Terrell Davis had on Eric Curry. Right there on the right of the screen. He goes low, but that's not an illegal chop because he wasn't blocked by another player. It's one of the areas of emphasis that the NFL is using this year. And Aaron Craver has been a terrific running back, particularly on first down for these Broncos. Really been a strong first down runner.
Did it again, and he picked up 16. Martin Mayhew is on the bench and being questioned by the team physician. Meanwhile, Eric Curry is going to be helped to his feet back at the 47-yard line.
Wow.
Aaron Craver really has blossomed in the last year since coming to Denver, and really is a wonderful compliment to Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
They've got a good 1-2 punch now.
Look what he's averaged on first down. That was a first down run that he just had there. 8.6 yards carry. Barry Sanders, phenomenal because of how many times he carries it on first down. Jerome Bettis had a very good year in Pittsburgh. This was coming into today's ball game. Kajana Carter had a nice run today. But Craver, for his size, is a good runner. You know, he's a good receiver. Caught a touchdown pass last week and not afraid to block guys. A good pass protector for his quarterback.
One-time third-round draft pick of the Dolphins. Spent 3 years there before coming to Denver. McCaffrey in motion. Davis goes over left guard and splits it with Mark Schlereth and Gary Zimmerman, and down to the 30-yard line.
You mentioned Schlereth, the left guard, number 69 for the Broncos. This is a guy that Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach, wanted to get on his team for 2 or 3 years. Got him a year ago. And this is a pretty good offensive line that we talked about. And they're really opening up some running holes, particularly for Terrell Davis.
Second down at the 30. Back split. Elway hands it off to Craver. And he works right guard down to the 27-yard line. Derek Brooks, number 55, makes the tackle on Craver.
And we've always said the opening drive really sets a tone for the rest of the half. Tampa Bay came out this second half, went 3 and out. The Denver Broncos got something going on this drive.
And they did it on the ground pass.
Yes, particularly with Terrell Davis.
Right. Big spark to get him back in the lineup. Back split. 3rd and 4. Elway across the middle. Aaron Craver at the 21. That's good for another first down.
That pass play has been open all night for the Broncos. I mean, that's the 4th time they've thrown it. One time Terrell Davis got killed on it. But Aaron Craver's going to slip out. You have to fight your way through traffic sometime. He is number 29 on the right of your screen. He kind of pauses, waits, finds his way through Brian Habib, finds a window to the quarterback. It's an easy pass and catch for a first down.
13-10 with 11:15 to go, third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 21. McCaffrey in motion. And they'll work the ground again. It's another first down run. Aaron Craver.
So you know your starting halfback, Terrell Davis, is struggling with an injury he got in the first half. So you come out in the second half, even though you're playing him, you let your fullback do a lot more of the work. And Aaron Craver gets a good block by 69 Schlereth. I mean, the first guy he really sees is the free safety, Melvin Johnson. And when that happens, you know your offensive line's doing a job.
95 yards on the ground thus far for the night for the Denver Broncos. Terrell Davis to the 10-yard line.
See how he kind of just really hugged that block? I mean, the thing about Terrell Davis that the offensive linemen love, there are no negative runs out of this guy. I mean, he'll get you what's blocked and then two more, but he's not going to take a lot of losses. And offensive linemen and offensive line coaches like Alex Gibbs love that.
They gave new meaning to the term unheralded. There's Alex Gibbs.
And there's a good offensive line coach, and puts in plays in front of the whole team, not just the offensive line.
Back split, first down. Elway gets rid of it. Craver, nice open field tackle by Derek Brooks.
That was a good open field tackle, because if Derek Brooks doesn't get Craver, he scores. Derek Brooks in his second year, high draft pick a year ago, one of those emerging players that you don't hear much about on Tampa Bay, but they have some good young defensive players, and 55 is one of them. Plays the same kind of position that John Mobley plays for the Denver Broncos, and in Tony Dungy's scheme, he is going to make a lot of plays.
Second down, back split. Davis to the right. Elway, quick setup, Anthony Miller. Fumble! Incomplete pass, the rule, no possession. Melvin Johnson again.
He had something to do with that being an incomplete. And here, this part of the field, Vern, is where quarterbacks in today's game need a real strong arm. Elway has it. I thought that may have been a catch. I don't know whether he had both feet down. But if you don't have the strong arm, no, he was bobbling. He was bobbling. That's a good call. But if you don't have a strong arm down here inside the 10-yard line, it's hard to squeeze the ball into the zone defense.
3rd and 8. Looking left, fires it, caught by Miller at the 2. And it'll be 4th down. Jason Elam comes on. Shanahan will go for the tie.
Boy, John Elway's happy to see Jason Elam in the game. Jason Elam hurt his hip a week ago, and John Elway is the backup kicker, and he didn't want any part of that this week.
Hold is down, the kick is up and good. And Jason Elam gets his second field goal of the night from close quarters. We're tied at 13. Jason Elam on to kick it off. Suffered that hip flexor, and it really hampered his kickoffs last week in Seattle. See what happens here as Nilo Sylvan waits for it. No problem.
That's a low one, though.
Watch out. Keith Burns.
Hey, one thing I've been impressed with the Buccaneers special teams, Burns. You know, Tony Dungy said, hey, we're good enough right now to win on special teams. We're good enough to win on defense. We just got to get this offense going. Joe Marciano, the special teams coach. And there's Nilo Sylvan, who returned 2 punts for touchdowns in the preseason. And, you know, Tony Dungy said, we have 4 or 5 guys on our team that I think someday are going to be stars in this league. He mentioned a bunch of defensive guys. He also mentioned Nilo Sylvan.
Now Trent Dilfer in the offense back out. We have an injured player being helped off. Demetrius DuBose, the backup middle linebacker, number 93. So the injury toll continues to mount for the second week in a row.
Yeah, when you back up Hardy Nickerson, you don't see a lot of playing time on defense, and that's what Demetrius DuBose does.
Modest figures for Trent Dilfer through the first 2.5 quarters. 8 of 21. Good yardage, 147. Still no touchdowns this season off that strong right arm. That one with Dan Williams draped all over him. The catch is made by Reggie Brooks for modest gain. And just to keep you statistically aware, that is the 400th pass that he's thrown since he last threw a touchdown pass. And he looked like he was shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, he was last year. Last week bruised his left arm as the Buccaneers went through 3 cans of quarterbacks last week.
Mike Lodish on the near side.
This is where the teams that have depth and play well in late in the year win in the playoffs.
2nd down and 12. Brooks goes left, gets by Mobley, but Mobley forces him into a pocket.
Whereas Terrell Davis will not bounce the play outside if there's no hole. He'll take what he gives, even if it's a 1-yard gain. Reggie Brooks sometimes will try to make a big play out of nothing, and it ends up looking pretty ugly. He should have just taken his medicine, kept this ball inside. Instead, he's trying to make a 40-yard run. He gets a 4-yard loss.
And that sets up a 3rd and 14 in the 13-13 ball game at the 7-minute mark, 3rd quarter. Dilfer chased to the right. Lets it go. Caught but out of bounds by Courtney Hawkins. It'll be 4th down.
They've had 6 plays in this half, Tampa Bay. I think they've had -4 yards on those 6 plays. And Richard Smith, the special teams coach from the Broncos, they haven't had one yet. He feels that they can have a particularly good night on a middle punt return. Haven't had much success yet because of good coverage.
Tommy Barnhart is back to punt it. Todd Kinchin waits at the 35. That's fairly short. Fair catch. Called by Kinchin. He runs up and makes the grab at the 47-yard line.
Good field position for the Broncos.
3 and out twice now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Broncos are tied at 13 and they have the ball. And he picks up 3 yards to Terrell Davis at the 50-yard line.
That's the 5th time they've thrown that pass. The linebackers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are taking very deep drops to take away the outside receivers in John Elway's strong arm. And they're just checking down Terrell Davis and Aaron Craver. It's an easy throw. You know, he's about 5 yards ahead of you. You dump it to him, you pick up 4, 5, 6 yards.
Well, they picked up 3 on that one. Second down and 7.
3, 4, 5, 6.
But it's sequential, you know. Elway right side. That's Dwayne Carswell, the blocking tight end. He doesn't catch many. Matter of fact, that's his first of the year.
Well, they will use everybody. And that's what makes this team and makes John Elway for years so difficult to defend. Elway, we talked about him being concerned about having to kick this week because of Elam's injury. If he had to, this is his kicking shoe, circa 1952. He said, hey, this shoe was here when I came here. He also said, I don't know what size it is, but who's ever the backup kicker, that's your shoe. I don't care what your shoe size is.
Well, Jim Turner's in the Ring of Fame here in Denver. I think that was his shoe originally.
It predated him.
He played for 7. Yeah, he did. Up the middle, Terrell Davis. Fumble. Broncos, I think, got it back at the 25.
Yeah, Terrell Davis got it back, and he's upset with himself because he is generally pretty secure with a football. He lost 1 fumble tonight, but Vern, he has had some really good, strong inside run. Good block by Carswell, number 89. Habib gets his guy. And then that wasn't really stripped. It just came out late in the run. Gathers himself to pick it up, but he has run very, very well. 83 yards now on 11 carries.
Had 111 last week, 72 in week 1. And he'll get it again. Here's a kid who grew up in San Diego, went to Long Beach State where he played under George Allen. They dropped football. And he transferred to Georgia. Second down. Craver to the 18-yard line.
Well, there's one of the guys who was responsible for how well they're running the ball this year, as well as last year. And, you know, Schlereth, the offensive guard, was talking about Alex Gibbs. He's the offensive line coach. He said, unlike most offensive line coaches, when they put in running plays, he gets up at the blackboard in front of the whole team, not just the offensive linemen. Say, wide receiver, you're going to do this. Quarterback, you're going to do that.
3rd and 2. Got a man open. Caught. Touchdown. Anthony Miller.
Great pump fake, Jordan. And even cheerleaders with knee braces can appreciate that.
And can Mike Shanahan.
That was a great pump fake. They have been running slants to Anthony Miller all evening. The fake slant, the pump fake, and the touchdown.
Jason Elam's extra point is good. Anthony
Charles Dimry, the safety, couldn't get there. Everybody was expecting the slant route, which he had run 3 times earlier. He runs the slant fade for a touch.
Elam kicks it deep. This one not quite as deep. Sylvan at the goal line. Oh, boy.
Rejected.
Yes. Reggie Rivers, number 38. Glenn Cadrez, number 59. And time has been called.
Dipping your tootsies into an ice-cold Rocky Mountain stream. Fraternize it with some...
You put this beer here?
I certainly did, and I checked on it.
I wasn't gonna take it, sir.
I'll bet.
No, really, look, it's still cold.
You're right. Now, what'd you do with my pretzels?
Well, don't just stand there. Find the General's pretzels.
Second drive of this half for the Denver Broncos. It took only 6 plays before the touchdown. And it all started with a pass to Dwayne Carswell, the backup tight end, the pass of 6 yards. Then Terrell Davis with a 19-yard gain. Followed that with an 8-yard gain, and that all set up the Elway to Miller touchdown pass of 17.
And remember, Terrell Davis on that drive recovered his own fumble, too, to keep that thing alive.
Quick snap, they hand it off the middle, big hole. Reggie Brooks, and it's a foot race with Braxton, and here comes Ray Crockett. And Crockett catches up with him, had the angle, and knocks him out of bounds.
You know, when Tony Dungy said to us last night he can provide a spark, he wasn't kidding. I mean, there was a big hole early in that run, and Reggie Brooks seized it. And, you know, you're better doing that than bouncing it out outside, like he did earlier. Breaks an early tackle, and then only because Crockett has an angle does he catch him. Switch his hands to try to fend him off.
56-yard run. That puts him over 100 for the night. He's got 107 on 11 carries. First down at the 27. Reverse, Hawkins. Chased by Williams. Fumbles the ball.
Should have been a clip, too. Or a block in the back, I think.
How about that for deflating the balloon after a 56-yard run?
And give Alfred Williams, number 91, the defensive end, for the Denver, some credit. Right down here. He is not going to get fooled. He stays right at home, doing what he's supposed to do. And Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, good disciplined defense. I thought Beckles blocked him from behind, and the ball scoots out of bounds. I thought that should have been a penalty.
Loss of 13, back to the 40.
He's a newcomer. Bill Romanowski is a newcomer. They drafted John Mobley, and the end result is a better defense.
Gilbert, right side. Courtney Hawkins, nope.
That's a pass you have to complete, Vern. That is an easy throw by NFL standards. Wide open. And again, he is always just a little bit off. But these are the kind of throws that guys like this have been throwing since junior high school. Wide open, but too far outside. You got to make those completions in the National Football League.
9 of 24 now for Dilfer. 145 yards. 1 interception, returned 69 yards by Tyrone Jackson. 3rd and 23. Dilfer, deep left side, man open. Has to wait on it, but he makes the grab. And that is the first touchdown toss of the season for Trent Dilfer. Alvin Harper on his 404th pass.
You have been keeping track.
Since the last one.
Great adjustment by Alvin Harper because Trent Dilfer slipped at the beginning of this throw, and it caused him to throw it late. But when you have a 6'4" athletic guy, you give him a chance. And this is what he did so well in Dallas. Fooled Lionel Washington, underthrown ball, but leaps up, doesn't bobble it, and falls into the end zone. Good adjustment to an underthrown ball. And he dunks it like he used to do in Dallas.
83 yards in 4 plays. 2 of them negative.
Well, that's good for your confidence. And Trent Dilfer slipped on this throw. And that's why I think the ball is thrown late. See, right there, his right foot, he threw it late, he threw it short, but sometimes the underthrown deep ball can be the most dangerous pass of all. Particularly when you have 6'4" Alvin Harper making the adjustment. And for Trent Dilfer, now in his 3rd year, his 6th touchdown pass, and the dunk.
And while all that was going on, a tough break for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jackie Harris, who's had an outstanding night, injured at the 5.
Remember, at halftime, he had to have an IV for cramps.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's still just cramping up. Or he is cramping. My mother would never let me end the sentence with a preposition, and I just did there. So
that is nonsense up with which we will not put.
My mother is going to be upset. But Trent Dilfer should be happy. 6 touchdowns in his career, his first this year. And he's done some good things, but he's done some bad things as well. Still not as accurate as you have to be, but revel in that moment because his team is right back in the ball game, knotted at 20.
Michael Husted will kick off now for Tampa Bay. And Vaughn Hebron is the deep man. That is a dandy. Hebron will bring it out. Oh, he got a block from Craver. Oh, boy. Did he get a terrific block. That was a pancake on a kickoff return.
Aaron Craver, number 29 right there, just stoned some guy. I mean, he got a full run and just flattened the guy. And Aaron Craver, those guys you don't talk about much in the National Football League, underappreciated. But when you watch the tapes, you appreciate them more and more and more.
Craver's going to get a rest after that outstanding special teams play. And in a 2020 ball game with 1:45 to go 3rd quarter, Elway brings them up. Quick flip right side. Anthony Miller slips a tackle and moves it forward and is knocked out of bounds. Here's tonight's GMC leaderboard. Among the coaches who have coached in the Super Bowl and gotten off to tough starts, how about Tom Landry back in 1960? And Jimmy Johnson with an 0-for-8 start in '89. Walsh, Gibbs, Bobby Ross. Wasn't too long after that 1960 season that Clint Murkison gave Tom Landry a 10-year contract. It was unheard of back then. Here's Davis.
But interesting point, Vern. We have talked about it a couple times this year. Stability, the ownership, stability, head coach. You get a 10-year contract after you go 0-10, whatever he was, and stability at your quarterback position. And that guy given a 6-year contract to get this thing turned around. And he said to us, he is not discouraged, even though they've looked awful on offense their first 2 weeks. He said, hey, our defense is going to be a good defense. We have some young stars in that team. Our special teams are good. We just got to get Trent Dilfer playing better.
3rd and 2. There's that pass again.
Jeez. I mean, the linebackers are going so deep, and Elway that is at least the 7th time he's thrown the ball to the back, either Terrell Davis or Aaron Craver. And again, Gary Kubiak calling the plays for the first time in his coaching career, formerly the backup to John Elway for 9 years, is doing a good job of mixing it up, the run and the pass.
This could be the final play of quarter number 3. Back split. Split's coming. Hand off to Craver, and he's jammed up behind the line. Good of rookie Glenn Milber's 3 fumble punts. Led to a Tampa touchdown, and the Buccaneer defense held. They went on to win it 17-10. Shannon Sharp across the middle again at the 50-yard line. Just to follow up on that, Pat, Tampa came in that week having lost 20 consecutive road games to AFC opponents. They won here, knocked Denver out of the playoffs that year. They've not won on the road against an AFC opponent since. And they're tied at 20 as we begin the final quarter.
Known as John Elway's quarter, generally.
3rd and 3. Intercepted. Picked off in the middle by Derek Brooks. Second time tonight that Elway's been intercepted.
This defense has played awfully well tonight. And they've had a fumble, and they had the interception there. The second by Elway. And Elway, he kind of looked around at the rush. He looked behind him. Good protection. He wants to know who's behind him. Pumps. See the look there? And then just kind of dumps it. Never even saw Derek Brooks at that point. Another one of those emerging players that we've talked about. Ill-advised throw. And Trent Dilfer now has a chance to put his team in the lead in the 4th quarter for the first time this year.
6 tackles in the first half, and that is the 3rd takeaway for Tampa Bay tonight.
And that's what we said at the beginning. Takeaways on defense, good special teams.
Hand off to Brooks. Wiggles around and finds room for about 3. Harold Hasselback and Bill Romanowski made the tackle. Now Lodish comes out and Jumpy Gathers takes his place.
See how tight Romanowski's jersey is?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he actually has a 38. He should wear a 46, they say. And they talk to the equipment man. It takes 2 or 3 guys to get him out of that jersey after the game.
2nd down and 8.
Whoops.
Jim Pine, number 60, moved. That'll cost him 5. Miles to the southeast of Steamboat Springs. Or 106
your hometown.
nautical miles. If you got to get you skiing.
I'd love to come up. When I get invited.
Yeah, it's an open invite. Here's Houston. Oh, boy. Wow. What altitude. Well, John Elway's had a difficult night tonight. He had 1 touchdown, but...
And 2 interceptions. And I think it's really been good defense. That was by Abraham. And then by Derek Brooks after a good pass rush. So the Tampa Bay defense, I think, has done a very good job on an explosive John Elway.
Well, how many times have we talked about John Elway's comeback ability in the 4th quarter during his career?
A lot. Every time we do one of their games, as a matter of fact.
23-20. Davis goes left on the toss. Out to the 37-yard line.
The really good football teams can run the ball in the 4th quarter when you need it. And this Denver Bronco team, a year ago, they ran the ball pretty well, averaged 4.5 yards a rush. This year, they lead the NFL in rushing. And if you can do that, you don't always have to depend on John Elway's heroics. But a 3-point lead is never safe when Elway's the quarterback.
Davis over 100 yards for the night now with 102. And another chance here. Oh, good defensive pressure from Herman Smith and Donnie Abraham. There's Abraham, the 3rd-round draft pick.
And Donnie Abraham did a good job last week tackling Barry Sanders. Had 7 tackles, and Herman Edwards, defensive backfield coach, says, hey, as this year goes along, he's going to play more and more and probably end up starting.
Herman Smith shaken up, but he says, no, I'll stay in the game. Abraham leaves. And they've already lost Eric Curry. We're told now, perhaps 2 to 4 weeks, he'll be out.
Remember, they don't have Eric Redden. They don't have the best offensive lineman in Paul Gruber.
3rd and 2. Shotgun for Elway. Darrell Davis has the first down at the 33. John Lynch, number 47, made the tackle. John, who, like his idol John Elway, played football at Stanford University. Matter of fact, John said he grew up in the San Diego area, and he wore number 7 as a high school quarterback because he so admired John Elway.
Played high school baseball and baseball at Stanford as well, just like John. And said when he was very first pro game, in a preseason game against Elway, he said he was in awe. But I'm not in awe anymore, but I still have a lot of respect.
Vaughn Hebron is in on first down. Elway, Shannon Sharp.
That is his office. The middle of the field is Shannon Sharp's office. Just stay out of there. Don't go anywhere near his office. I mean, he is a walking mismatch over the middle, isn't he?
Shannon Sharp, 4 catches for the night now. There's Shannon Sharp.
Seems like he's caught 100 to me.
Yeah,
all of them right there. He's got in the perfect opening to, and that's why we say a quarterback is struggling. You saw that view of Shannon Sharp get the ball to tight end because he's right in front of you. It's an easy throw.
Flag is down. Aaron Craver bursts up the middle. And if the play stands, he's got a first down, but we'll see about the infraction.
We talk about disciplined runners. Well, Craver and Davis are disciplined runners. They know where the hole is supposed to be.
91, defense.
Denver trailing by 3. Davis surges over right guard.
There's been one pass in this drive thus far. Other than that, it's been the offensive line. It's been Terrell Davis. It's been Aaron Craver. And it's been Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, calling those plays and having confidence in his offensive line that they're going to get it done.
And again on first down, Pat, a 7-yard pickup. 2nd and 3. Ball at the 41-yard line. 8:20 remaining in the ball game. Tampa Bay leading it 23-20. Craver to the 40. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And what the AFC West does not want is to have John Elway have more opportunities. And with the way their defense has played, the first part of the year, the way they're running the ball, John Elway is going to have a lot of opportunities. You may even get to call all those plays that you saw there on Gary Kubiak's play chart. And there's a whole bunch of them in there.
3rd and officially 1, but it's more like 4.5 to 5 feet.
I didn't say long one. That's good.
No.
Slight variation of the theme.
The cadence.
Oh, man.
He did it with the cadence.
Again, the thing about John, he doesn't waste them on 1st and 2nd down. He saves them for 3rd down plays. And he went up a couple octaves on that one, didn't he?
Now, is there a chance that his offensive line moved? I think.
Usually a quarterback will tell his offensive line, I'm going to use, my cadence to draw him off sides. Some guys don't listen.
Ron Bloom is going to be guest on Larry King Live. This continues. There were a couple of sopranos out there.
I wonder if that hurts.
Oh, all of a sudden I thought we were going to have an aria from the castrati tenor. First down and 10. Something had to hurt to make it sound like that. Davis. Hardy Nickerson up at the top. Derek Brooks down low. Good linebacking core for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and they are. What Hardy Nickerson and his defensive cohorts are thinking right now is, hey, just force the field goal attempt. Because, you think about your own quarterback, and Trent's played pretty well tonight, but you don't want to have him coming from behind from a touchdown or more. So, force the field goal attempt.
6:45 to go. Second and 9. Elway got it to the 25. That's short of the first down. The catch made by Anthony Miller.
Well,
his 7th tonight.
He may not have the legs he once did as a youngster, but he still has the arm. And in spite of its velocity, an easy ball to catch.
What makes it so?
Well, a good tight spiral is one thing. It's always, accurate. I mean, he's writing numbers there. Easy ball there for Anthony Miller to catch.
3rd and 1. More like 2 feet. Blitz. Davis to the 21. First down.
This offensive line has been marvelous this drive, Vern. You don't hear about them. They're as anonymous as telephone operators a lot. But when you get it going, you can really appreciate the art of an offensive line. And that guy, Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach, the assistant head coach, has done a great job. And his offensive linemen are incredibly loyal to him. Watch those guys. Craver blocks his guy, knocks his guy out again. Say, these backs of Denver block pretty well, too.
And the ground game has been so effective. Now Mike Sherrard is in the lineup. Elway has not been sacked. They'll keep it on the ground here. Davis.
That is a large hole by NFL standards. And there have been a lot of them over Tom Nalen, Brian Habib, Mark Schlereth, the interior of the offensive line. This is as good an offensive line performance that we have seen this year, Vern.
That's an 11-yard gain for Terrell Davis, and he's now picked up 127.
With blurry vision.
Back-to-back games of more than 100 yards. 6th-round draft pick a year ago. Back split. Well, you've got something working. Go back to it. Aaron Craver this time. Number 29.
Vern, I think there's only been one pass on this drive.
Yes.
Yeah, the one pass
to Anthony Miller.
Yes. Maybe I take that back. I'm sorry, there was two. Sharp caught one,
That's
too.
Right.
Other than that, it's been Craver, it's been Davis, it's been the offensive line.
And the clock now shows 4:20. It's 2nd down at the 5.
And he's got to be thinking about his 2-minute drill.
That's Sherrard in motion. Craver to the 3, maybe the 4. Aaron Craver now with 9 carries for 46 yards.
Now, in the old days, John Elway was a threat on this kind of down to run a quarterback draw or a bootleg. You don't see it as much from Elway as he's become an elder statesman, now 36 years old in his 14th year. But it's always been open for him, that quarterback draw.
Now the Broncos will use one of their allotted timeouts. John Elway will chat with Gary Cooper about to run the 14th play of this drive. They have kept it on the ground 11 of the previous 13. Back split. 3rd and goal. They hand it off. Touchdown, Terrell Davis.
That was a slithering run by Terrell Davis. I didn't think he was going to get in, Bert. And that's the first points the Buck defense have given up in the 4th quarter this year. And I want to say, if you love offensive linemen, and as a former quarterback I do, that was a terrific drive. Really a terrific drive.
Good job, baby.
And only fitting that it ended with a run.
Here's the extra point from Elam. It's up and good. 8 minutes and 11 seconds, 80 yards, 14 plays, and 12 of them of the grinded out variety. And Terrell Davis acts like he's been there before.
Your team the lead. That was beautiful offensive line play.
That's Mark Schlereth, Brian Habib next to him. Here's the kick from Elam, and Nino Sylvan at the 3. He's had a good night returning kicks. And he gets this one out to the 31-yard line. Tackle is made by Rondell Jones, number 31. Well, this is the 21st season of Tampa Bay football. In their history of 310 games, they've had a total of 37 game-winning drives. This is John Elway's 193rd game as a starter for Denver. He's had 32. That does not count tonight.
Staggering numbers on both sides.
Here comes Trent Dilfer, 10 of 26. 1st and 10. 3:22 to go. Across the middle, caught by Jackie Harris. No, incomplete. Take a look at the Slate scoreboard. Dallas losing a 21-3 lead and falling at home. Oakland finally wins. They defeat Jacksonville. Kansas City remains undefeated. And as you watch these scores, another reminder that the NFC West had a bye week.
And Vern, remember Trent Dilfer said to us last night, I've got to get over the hump. Bringing your team from behind in the fourth quarter is one way of doing it.
On the road. Blitz. Romanowski was coming, and Jackie Harris makes the grab. Lionel Washington and John Mobley make the tackle.
I'll forever be amazed that tight ends get off the line of scrimmage so easily, particularly when they're having big nights as Jackie Harris is tonight.
2:55 to go. Tampa does have all three of its timeouts.
Right now, they have the most important third down of the evening. A 3rd and 1.
Reggie Brooks, Mike Allstott. New center is in, Chrisman. Mayberry's not in the lineup. Brooks is stuffed.
Atwater and Williams and Aldridge. And about 4 or 5 orange jerseys. And he lost yardage. Reggie Brooks is not a power runner. He can scamper. He's had some real nice runs. But on short yardage, this is not his long suit. And nobody blocks Atwater. A strong safety playing like a linebacker on that down. And you have to go for it.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. And the Buccaneers will go for it on 4th and 2. The 4th and 2 from their own 39-yard line.
And one thing, he has continued to go to Jackie Harris, and Jackie Harris and the fullback combination is a good call here.
Back shift now. No blitz. Dilfer has a man open. Courtney Hawkins makes his first catch tonight, and they get the first down.
Well, that's only the 3rd catch by a wide receiver tonight. He gets his timeout, his first of 3. Mike Shula, nice throw by Trent Dilfer.
Hawkins with 8 catches last week in Detroit, his first tonight. Now Dilfer with an even 200 yards on the ground, but he needs 55 more and a touchdown to reclaim the lead. 4-man rush, Dilfer right side, diving grab, incomplete.
Vern, another one of those.
Are they going to say yes, or was he bobbling the ball? I think they might say he had an illegal catch. No.
And that's Howard Slavin, the side judge. And Vern, one moment he can look awfully good. Now it is some pressure in his face. The next moment he can have a guy open. Yeah, he didn't catch that. He didn't catch that. But that should have been an easy completion. Again.
2nd and 10. Dungy with a look of disbelief still. Well, hold everything. Play clock needs to be...
The offense, well, you find out now. The 3rd-year quarterback getting an opportunity to bring his team from behind.
Blitz. Fumble. Denver football. Alfred Williams, number 91.
Good speed rush by Alfred Williams down here at the bottom. Gets right by Riesenberg, gets there, strips the quarterback, and then makes the recovery. That's starting the play and finishing the play.
He came so quickly, I thought it was a blitz. And it wasn't.
No, it looked like one of those old jailbreaks.
Right. Alfred Williams.
And here's where you love the running game.
Second turnover tonight by Tampa. Davis popped pretty good as he crosses the 35.
There's the guy who just fumbled the ball. And there's the guy who caused caused a fumble, and he's not giving that ball up. And Vern, you know, I know that one of these fourth quarter deals, the comebacks, you'll talk about John Elway again, but this comeback belonged to the offensive lineman, I believe, of the Denver Broncos.
Coming up after the game on the Steel postgame show, Ernie Johnson will be here at Mile High with postgame interviews. Back in Atlanta, Vince Cellini, Mark May, and Randall Cunningham will look at the other action around the NFL today. And Norman Chad will offer his unique insight in Chad's Chatter. That's coming up on the Steel postgame show.
Well, Tampa Bay now with 12 turnovers on the year.
Well, this is a Denver team that rushed for 200 yards in game one, 180 last week, and they're getting close tonight.
Yes, 2-1-2, if my math is correct, as I've been calculating this all evening.
That's the last time out for Trent Dilfer and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Terrell Davis with 136 yards, Craver with 46, Elway with 5.
And in the offensive line with everything. Look at that.
Well, 203.
Too close. Nonetheless, a tremendous performance by that guy who got a lot out of every hole that was there, and the offensive lineman who just did really, I think, played spectacularly. When game balls go around, these guys will get them in spite of some pretty ugly face masks.
You know, you haven't given us a fashion critique. I know you're a big fan of the color orange.
Yeah.
And tonight, I mean, what a double dose you got.
Yeah, I got a lot of orange. I think players' wives have a tough time having outfits go with the orange. Really do.
Third down. Craver. He keeps it inbounds, and Tampa Bay cannot stop the clock.
Yeah, smart play by Craver. He's blocked. He's caught the ball. He's run the ball exceptionally well. And then a smart play right there. They won ugly, but they won. And they go to Kansas City next week. That'll be interesting.
And they will go to Kansas City undefeated for the first time since 1989, or 3-0 for the first time since '89. Pat Bolin.
So even he doesn't wear much orange. He features blue.
Got a little orange in the tie.
Yeah.
Measurement, first down, Denver Broncos. Pat Bolin's trying to get a new stadium built here in Denver. He woke up to some unpleasant news on the front page of a newspaper this morning. A poll taken said 63% of the correspondents in the poll did not favor a tax placed on sales to build the stadium. Next Sunday here on TNT, Ray Rhodes brings the 2-1 Philadelphia Eagles, led by quarterback Rodney Peete, into the Georgia Dome to take on the Atlanta Falcons at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's next Sunday night, the NFL on TNT. It was the strong legs of his running backs and the collaborative effort of that offensive line up front.
Yeah, they were really, really good. And that guy, you know, they ran the ball well last year, averaged 4.5 yards a carry, but they have taken it to a different level this year. Terrell Davis, and I think the biggest improvement in the running game has been Aaron Craver. And there's a small sharp in the neighborhood.
Trevor and the Buccaneers, Tony Dungy, they fall to 0-3, but they played with great heart tonight. And the Denver Broncos put together an 80-yard drive that took 8 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock for the go-ahead and winning touchdown. With football tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern.
I think you come to expect here at Mile High that in the fourth quarter you need some points. You're going to drive 80 yards in a shade over 8 minutes and put the winning touchdown on the board. And the guy who always engineers those, John Elway, joins me along with Terrell Davis, a real workhorse tonight in that Denver ground game, which put 195 yards up there. Again, they were #1 in the NFL coming in, and we'll certainly stay right there. But guys, a much tougher than anticipated game from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight.
Well, we anticipate. I think other people thought it was going to be an easy one, but we knew it was going to be a tough football game. They're good on defense, and they proved it tonight.
When you're 3-0 at this point, have the chance to go 3-0, you're sitting here down. What are you telling your guys on the sidelines when you're down in this game and it's the fourth quarter? What are you telling your guys?
Well, really the first half we kind of beat ourselves. Penalties really hurt us in the first half, and all we had to do was go out and play the game that we can play and not beat ourselves, and so that's what we did in the second half.
But in that situation in the fourth quarter, John, what's the magic that you got?
I don't know. We just don't talk about it. We go out and do it.
Terrell Davis, what a night you had. Again, over 100 yards for the second time in 3 weeks. But for a while, you're knocked out of that game. Hardy Nickerson laid a pretty good lick on you. What were you seeing? And how many of everybody were you seeing?
Well, actually, I couldn't see anything. And that was actually like in the second quarter. I really couldn't see anything. It was just a blurred vision. And I was trying to stay in the game as long as I could. But after a while, it just got to a point where I really couldn't see anything. And so I went to the sideline. And I think I had a migraine for a little bit. And they gave me some medication. And I went in at halftime, came back out. I was ready to go.
And the ground success you guys are having. I mean, another 195 today. What's up? Is it all O-line, or how much of it is the second-year guy who nobody thought was going to make it last year? What is it, John?
I think it's a great combination of both. I think that the offensive line is doing a great job pushing people off the line of scrimmage and getting helmets on the right people. And Terrell's, you can't bring him down. Arm tackles don't bring him down.
You know, this game was 13-13. It's the third quarter. You're putting a drive together, and one of the weirdest plays of the game, you're running, you fumble, you recover your own fumble. Everybody holds their breath here at Mile High. Take me through that one.
Well, when I'm running the ball, I'm trying to run as hard as I can. I mean, I'm trying to have ball security, but at the same time, I'm trying to make a big play. I need to work on that at practice as far as securing the ball when I'm on the open field, because this team and a lot of teams strip the ball. And, normally I'll hold on to the ball, but I was just trying to make a big play. And actually, when it fell out of my hands, I was like, oh, God, not again. And you see me scatter to get back up on it, so...
You wrapped up that drive, too, John, with a strike to Miller on a little pump fake. Take me through that.
Well, we just, we finally got the ball downfield. They were really doing a good job in the secondary and really playing a lot of zone coverage. And I finally was able to get the ball down, and Anthony made a good catch. But it was the first time, and that touchdown earlier was, we got him in man coverage for one of the few times tonight, and we were able to beat the corner.
Quickly, you're 3-0, and everybody says, now, you got KC, and they're 3-0. Your thoughts going into that one, quickly?
Well, it's a great rivalry, and we know it's tough to win in there, and we got to go in and play as hard as we can. We got to play the perfect football game because they're playing great defense and playing well on offense, so we know we got our hands full.
Terrell Davis and John Elway, thank you very much for joining us. The Denver Broncos, folks, are 3-0, heading into a big showdown next week. 27-23 winners over the Tampa Bay BUCS, who fall to 0-3. Back with more a little bit later. Vinny?
All right, EJ, rare video of Terrell Davis.
And threatening, down 27-23. And trying to put something together late. And there's Alfred Williams. Played his ball at Colorado.
There, 15 carries, 114 yards, and their first touchdown of the season. Terrell Davis, 22 carries, 137 yards, and the touch. The Buccaneers, for the 7th time in their team history, starting